Hello and welcome to Tricks of the S-Trade channel. Today is the 23rd of March 2017, and on today's video we have a member of One Direction whose name is Tomlinson on the video. Alright, so before I get into the video, as I usually say, that a channel is dedicated to providing truth for you. We're not here to provide any disinformation of any sort. And so if you're trying to watch it, if it's your first time on a channel and you're trying to get to understand what the channel is about and what we are here to do for you, I advise that you watch the primer video if you haven't watched it first, right? If it's your first time, watch the primer video. Download the document that's attached to every video that we make. We will show you the visual differences between male and female. Have that document handy. It might look like the document has a lot of pages, but it will take you 30 minutes to go through it. It just has a lot of pictures. So what you need to do is just reduce the YouTube window pane and click on show more, and you'll see the link. Click on the link, it will take you to the document. All right, at your own time, I advise that you also watch the Zayn Malik video and you watch the Marilyn Monroe video as well. With that said, as I usually say before I get into the video, is that we are not against transgenders. Right? If you're transgendered, I mean, that's your thing. Right? Everybody has his or her fantasy to live, and besides that, God is the judge, not us. All right? Our channel is dedicated to trying to make people understand and make sense of your world. All right? Because there's a lot of lies and a lot of chaos which is built by the Vatican to control your mind. Okay? So if you're searching for the truth, I would say that you've come to the right spot. It might be bitter. It might be a bitter pill to swallow, and sometimes your mind may not be willing to accept the truth because you've been trained so long on lies, right? It's more like training a puppy, a dog, to eat its feces, right? When the dog sees good food, it's difficult for it to eat. It still wants to go back to its feces. It takes time and training for the dog to quit its feces and come back to eating regular food. All right. So a channel is not designed against transgenders or anybody who decides to live an alternative lifestyle. If you want to be a homosexual, that's your thing. We're not here to judge you. It's God that judges you. If you're an adult and you decide to make that decision for yourself, God has given you the ability, right, to live your life the way you want it. He remains the judge, not us. All right. Now, what we're trying to expose on this channel, if you've watched the primer video already, what we're trying to expose here is to show you that there is a system put in place which is working really, really well. The system is designed to take children before these children can reach the age in which they can make a decision to say, okay, I want to live in a sex and gender. I want to live the fantasy of living in another sex and gender that's different from my birth gender. Then that's fine if you're an adult. But these children have no choice. They've been taken, mutilated, and castrated. Now, if you have children, you will know that that's very harrowing. But this is the system that's put in place that's thriving very well under the rulership, the guardians of the Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican. I'm not talking about the Roman Catholic Church like lay people who think they're going to church or going to mass every day, and and they're praying to the Virgin Mary and all that, who have no clue. I'm talking about the hierarchy here. When I talk about the Roman Catholic Church, that means its leaders, its priests, the Pope, the Vatican. All right, that's what I'm talking about. The Black Pope, the hierarchy, the Jesuits, who actually make the decisions on what's going on in your church and what's going on around the world. Because a lot of people don't know this. It's the Vatican that runs the world. They are the instigators of what they call the New World Order. The New World Order, in very simple terminology, as I've always said, just means that the Pope wants to rule the world and you in it. Don't be confused by all the stuff they say on TV about it. That is what it means in very layman's terms, so you're not confused. All right? The Pope runs the world. He's not fully in control of it yet, but he runs most of it. He runs everything from the industries. He owns Hollywood, the TV that you watch, the clothes that you wear, anything, the technology, all right? The companies, they all have a hand. All of this the Pope has a hand in all of them. Everything. He's running the world up. He's almost 80% complete. It's just 20% left right now. It doesn't matter what country you are in, the Pope has influence as long as there is a Roman Catholic Church in that country, or there is a mosque, because people don't understand that Islam is also Roman Catholicism. As long as there is a mosque and as long as there is a Roman Catholic Church or cathedral in there, you have to know that the Pope owns and runs it. He runs everything. He owns anything. They own the stock market. They own everything. They issue all international currency. It doesn't matter if it's Chinese. It doesn't matter if it's Russia. Don't worry about all the propaganda of, Russia always fighting the US or US fighting Russia. It's all meant to control your mind. The Pope runs and owns everything. All right? People will say Freemasons run the world. Oh, yes, but the Pope owns the Freemasons. The Illuminati runs the world. The Pope instigated the Illuminati. He owns it. It is an institution. The United Nations, right? The Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, anything that's global, has a global reach, the Pope is in it. Just know that for a fact, okay? So now the subject of today's video is Lewis Tomlinson. If you're trying to watch this video, I would advise that you look for the Zayn Malik video first, and also watch the Harry Styles video on this channel before you watch this. This is more like a continuation because I'm not going to go into too much detail. I'm just going to jump straight in to show you that Lewis Tomlinson was born female. He's not male. He was genetically not born male. He's born female, transgendered, castrated. Well, I wouldn't say he's castrated because he was born female. He's been just fed hormones, and probably has some sort of construction in his genital area, and fed hormones. The hormones has, made his breast not to grow like a female should, but the skeletal structure hasn't changed. He is still female. And so with that, we're just going to get into the pictures real quick. All right. Okay. My picture crashed, so you bear with me for a second. Let me pull this up again. All right. Okay, here is a picture of Lewis Tomlinson. If you don't know, he's a member of the group One Direction, and let me just show you that. Here is One Direction. They're probably known as 1D, and the members of this band were Niall Horan, Liam Payne, Harry Styles, Lewis Tomlinson, and previously Zayn Malik. If you've already watched the Harry Styles movie, I would have shown you that Niall Horan, I must have told you that, I didn't show you that Niall Horan and Liam Payne were male. They're still male. Harry Styles right here, Lewis Tomlinson that we're having a video on right now, and Zayn Malik that we already have a video on are all females. All right. Now let's get back to the pictures right here. Here's Lewis Tomlinson. As you can see, Lewis Tomlinson has hips. If you're following my mouse, so you see the curvature of those hips, and you see how his elbows tuck right in at where the female indentation. That means where the female waist starts, because the female's hips, a female's elbows will always come to rest at that female indentation because it's trying to contour form to the body, so the elbows have a rest point. All right. With men have longer shoulders, so the elbows don't require a rest point. Right? Does it make sense? Men have longer shoulders, so that's the reason why we have well-developed trapezius muscles to support the longer width of the shoulders. So we don't need a rest point for our elbows. But with females, because the female shoulders are shorter, they're inside the hips. If you draw a line right here, right? If you draw a line from Lewis Tomlinson's hips right here all the way up like that, right? you would see that the elbows, or sorry, the shoulders rest inside the hips. Okay, so Lewis Tomlinson was genetically born um female. He's not male. Now, one of the tricks of the trade here is that they try to distract you with these tattoos, all right? So that you're not looking at the body. And you're gonna trust and notice that sooner or later he's gonna have a lot of tattoos. He's just beginning, or she's just beginning. Let's call her right now. She's just beginning to have a lot of tattoos. She will be covered up, so the tattoos is trying to cover the form of the body, so distract you from actually looking at the feminine body of Lewis Tomlinson, who was genetically born female. He's not male. Forget about the fake hair right here. It's because she's been taking a lot of testosterone, which is causing that, beard to grow and look like it's male. It's not. This, you're looking at a female. All right? So you can see the hips right there, right? See the hourglass figure that Lewis Tomlinson has? If you don't know what a female's figure looks like, let me show you from a document, all right? Um, a female will have an hourglass figure like this. The reason for the hourglass figure is because the pubic arch, right, here is 120 degrees or more for females, all right? So because the pubic arch is wider, it pushes the pelvis further apart, and that pushes the legs further apart and the hips, all right? The reason for the wide pubic arch is so that when a female is pregnant, the baby can come out of here, all right? Now let me just show you a document from a document what I'm trying to tell you in one of the pictures right here, so you can see what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm just gonna scroll down a bit and see if I can find the actual spot. Let me go further up and see if I can find it quick, because we know I have a picture in there that will show you exactly what we're talking about, so you would perfectly understand. All right, here's the picture I'm talking about right here, right? So this wider pubic arch right here allows for a baby's head to come out of the womb. Without the wider pubic arch, right, the baby wouldn't be able to come out. Now, this wider pubic arch here, the arch right here is angled 120 degrees or more for a female. With males, it's less, it's 90 degrees or less, right? So that's the reason why women are able to spread their legs and have sex and bear children, because of this wider pubic arch. Because when the pubic arch is wider, right, it pushes the legs further apart, right? The hip joints come further apart, and women have that hourglass figure that Miss Lewis Tomlinson has over here, as you can see. All right, let's go with some other pictures. Here's Lewis Tomlinson. And as you can see, he has an arch in her back. All right. So if you don't know the reason why females have an arch in their back, I'll just show you from one of the pictures, okay? In that document, the document that advise that you should have handy and download and keep it. All right. So now here's a female's back. A female's back starts arching just below the shoulder blades. It dips, it goes in to the navel and comes out into the pelvis. All right. A woman's back is always going to be shaped as a C, depending on where you draw the arch from, or it's going to be shaped like an S. All right. A woman's back. A man's back is going to be shaped, is always straight or shaped like a D. If a man's back wants to arch, it's gonna arch outside like a D, as you can see in this picture right here. It will go straight down into his pelvis, into his butt area. All right. The reason for the arch in a female's back is because, first of all, the hips of a female are tilted forward. They are not straight up and down like a man's own. The reason for the tilt is because the female is going to be pregnant. So the tilt is a requirement so that the baby stays inside the womb and doesn't fall out or dropped. So the arch there is extra support for the weight of carrying children, babies. All right. So a female will always have an arch in her back. All right. If she kneels or whatever thing she wants to do, you will see that arch right there. Right. You will see that arch in her back. All right. And that's what you see. in a female. Now, it doesn't matter if the female has got muscles or whatsoever, all right? She will always have an arch in her back like that, okay? Like this right here, arch in the back, all right? Can you see that from the picture that I'm showing you, all right? She will always have an arch in her back. The arch starts just below the shoulder blades. As you can see with this female, it dips in, it goes towards the navel, right? And when it gets to the navel, it starts coming out into the pelvis. That's why a female butt, the female butt starts higher up for a female than a male, okay? So it doesn't matter if she's got muscles, you always see that arch in her back like that, right? That's a muscular female, and you can see that. With men, the back is going to arch outside like a D. I've already shown you that, right? Or it's going to be straight up and down like this male over here, but it will go straight into the pelvis, or still arch like a D like I've shown you here. Arch outside. A male's back arches outside. A female arches inside, all right? And that's what Louis Tomlinson of One Direction here have. All right. So if you've been listening to One Direction and your child is crazy about One Direction, thinking that, Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson and Zayn Malik were very cute members of One Direction, that's because they were girls. All right. So you can see the sort of inversion, the sort of a perversion that goes on in TV that you watch, and your children or daughters are screaming thinking that they're liking boys, but they're actually liking girls. And this is stimulating the wrong hormones in the female, making a lot of females to be homosexual or lesbians, as we call it. That's the reason why. These people have studied the human biology. They know what happens when a man looks at a woman and thinks that it's a woman, right? When he's actually looking at a man, or if a female looks at a man thinking that she's looking at a man but is looking at a female, they know that your body is triggering the wrong hormones, right? That's going to lead you to be attracted to men rather than women, making you to be attracted more to the people of the same sex than what's the natural order of being attracted to people of the opposite sex. Does it make sense? So Harry Styles, he has an arch in her back, showing you that he was born female. You can see how that ass is perky. Now, if someone presenting this picture from you from this point, and you didn't know that it was Louis Tomlinson, if you looked at this right here, what would you think this is? You would say this is a girl, right? But because they fed her hormones, causing the breast not to grow, causing her to grow facial hair, and giving her the appearance of a male, you think it's male. But look at the presentation here. The skeletal structure hasn't changed. He still has an arch in her back. And look at that perky butt. And look at the hips. And look at the thighs. You're looking at a female. All right? Don't get it twisted, bro. This is, I wouldn't say bro at this point because it's the girls who are attracted to this kind of thing. You're looking at a female. It wasn't a dude that you were attracted to if you're a woman. Okay? Let's go further. Here is Louis Tomlinson. All right? Louis Tomlinson with another girl. Now, the reason why I pulled up this picture, first of all, if you can see, I know it's a little bit hazy and flurry here, not too clear, is that he has hips, all right? You can still see, even with the towel that he's wearing, that he has hips, right? He has an hourglass figure around there, okay? Now, the reason for this picture is because I wanted to show you the head differences, right? Compare the head differences here. Now, if you're male, if you compare your head with another female who's of the same height, all right, your head is always going to be 10% bigger than that of a female, all right? The reason is because a male's brain is 10% bigger. It has more brain matter than a female's brain. This is biologically and scientifically proven, right? But now when you're comparing the heads, this is what you have to take into consideration when you're comparing the heads. You have to make sure that the heads of the people you're comparing are of the same ethnicity. So that means you compare black with black, white with white, Asian with Asian, or Hispanic with Hispanics. The reason is because the black person, black people, you black people have bigger skulls than any other ethnicity. The reason why black people have bigger skulls is because a black person's bones are denser, and they pack in more water in their bones than other ethnicities. Right? So a black person's skull is always going to be bigger than the skull of somebody else of a different ethnicity if you take into account that they're of the same height and the same weight. You have to take into account in those three things: the ethnicity, the height, and the weight. So in Lewis Tomlinson's case right here, he is Caucasian, and so is this female over here, Caucasian or white, as we might say. So we can compare the heads. Now, on comparing the heads because of the same height and they're almost of the same weight, all right, you can see that Lewis Tomlinson's head here is not bigger than the female on his right, right? Because they're both female. If Lewis Tomlinson was a man, his head would be considerably and noticeably 10% bigger than that of the female to his right. But they're both females. Tomlinson here was born genetically female, transgendered into a male, and being lied to you and your kids on TV who buy their CDs and listen to their music that you're looking at a male when he's genetically female. Don't worry about the tattoos, which is meant to confuse you and distract you from looking at the body, so you can think that you're looking at a male, but it's actually female. All right, another picture. Here's Lewis Tomlinson again, and if you didn't see this, I want you to watch the way she walks. If you didn't see this before, what do you think this would be? Would you say that this is a man walking? Can you see the curvature of the hips and the butt and the way it angles because the hips are wider? Because this is how females work. Because the hips are wider, the Q angle is the angle between the hips and the knee. It's more acute. So that's why when a female lifts up her legs to walk, you can see that Q angle very, very much. Can you see that? Can you see that? The Q angle and the curve right there? You're looking at a female. This isn't some dude, right? Don't worry about the fake facial hair and probably chin implant that she has. She is still a woman, genetically born one, because the sex is decided when an egg in the womb is fertilized by a sperm. You can't change it. The skeletal structure and makeup and biology is stamped. The DNA is stamped at that point. No matter what you do, it's just cosmetic. It's a hoax. It's a medical hoax. All right? You can't change someone's structure, DNA, and biology from the sex and gender that they were born with into a different sex or gender. Right? So you can see right there the curve of those hips as she's walking, that you're looking at a female. This is not a man. So if you're a lady and you've been listening to his music and you love him, you have to know this from today on, that Lewis Tomlinson of One Direction is female and not a dude. Okay? Some more pictures. Lewis Tomlinson again here. I'm trying to show you the hips if you're following my mouse. You see the hourglass figure that he has? I would have done some comparison on the head skulls here. But the reason why I can't do it is because you can noticeably see that Lewis Tomlinson here is taller than the female on her left rather. She's taller. Lewis Tomlinson here is taller than this female, and secondly, he's bigger. All right. So like I'm saying, if you're comparing skulls, you have to take account that they have to be of the same ethnicity, same height, and identical or almost the same weight. But as you can see, he's a bigger female than the female on his right or to the left of my screen. All right. But what I want you to take into notice is the hourglass figure that you have here. Right. See that? You're looking at a female. And you can see how short his arms are. Because if he was male, his arms would be longer. All right, because males have longer arms. The arms would extend right up to this point right here, right? But his arms are shorter. Because if you draw a line from the crotch, let's say this is his crotch, all right? If you draw a line for a female from the crotch area to the arms, the line will always end inside the palms of the arms. Clear indication to show you that's female. Let me show you from one of our pictures so you can understand what I'm saying. All right, from one of our documents right here. Now here is a female. If I drew a line from this crotch area to the arms of that female, it ends inside the palms of her hands and not above the wrist. If you drew the line of this crotch area and it ended above the wrist, it would be a clear indication that you're looking at a male. All right. Another picture to show you what I'm saying again. Now, if I draw a line from this female right here, from her crotch area to the palms of her arms, all right, to her arms, it ends inside the palms of this lady's hands. If it ended above the wrist, it would be a clear indication that you're looking at a male. But this is female, right? So with Lewis Tomlinson over here, right? If I drew that same line, you would see it would end inside the palms of his hands. His arms are way too short for a man. Clear indication that you've been looking at a female all this while, being fed to you, force-fed to you as a male. Some more pictures. Here is Lewis Tomlinson again, and you can see the hourglass figure even through the clothes, right? Now, one of the tricks of the trade is that they say they make men wear skinny jeans. Skinny jeans is a fad. Is because people were becoming more. You have to understand, these people sit in a room and think of the fads and the trends of everything that should be on TV, and they force feed you this from TV because we are evangelized from TV. We learn everything about the world from TV. It's a propaganda tool to control your mind, right? You learn how people talk or how to act or the news or what's going on around you from TV. If somebody else told you on the street the truth, you wouldn't believe it because you don't see it on TV. That's how the American people and the world in general has been programmed, that you should believe everything you see on TV. But they forget that when you watch a movie and you see stunts of men flying in the air or jumping through 10,000 cars, that is not real. But you still believe what you see on TV, even after watching that. How can you believe anything else if the movies, when you know that movies are not real, and you still take into account and treat it as reality, everything else that you see on TV besides the movies? It's horrible. Don't think that way. Don't believe anything you see on TV. Get to know people. Get in touch with people. Talk with people. Know people. Understand your surroundings. Don't believe anything they tell you on TV. It's always propaganda. Nothing is true or real on TV. So this is why these people sit in a room and create all these fads or fashion trends, because they're trying to cover up the idea that they have people that you think that are male who are but actually female, and people who you think that are female but are actually male. So they design all these clothes. They call it unisex terminologies to confuse you, so you wouldn't know how to distinguish your genders anymore. But you can still see through the clothes here the fine hourglass figure of Miss Lewis Tomlinson. All right, you can see that. All right, some more pictures. Here's Lewis Tomlinson with another female, and as you can see, the female has hips, and so does Lewis Tomlinson. Even then, you can still see that, right? You can still see those hips right here, right? Can you see that? Let me try to blow this up as much as I can. See that right there? He still has hips. He's just curving as much as this female is, showing you that they're both female. And look at the head again, the head comparisons. If Lewis Tomlinson here was male, his head should be considerably larger, 10% larger than the female on his right, because they're of the same height and same ethnicity and almost the same weight. But Lewis Tomlinson is female. See the short shoulders also? Comparable to the female on the right also, short shoulders. Can you see that? And see the hourglass figure again? I mean, they're both curving the same. See how he curves and this female curves at the same time as they're walking together? See that? See the Q angle, short Q angle here? See the Q angle over there? Two females with hips. And whosoever this female is, she will never tell you if she is amongst in the entertainment community or whatever she is. She will never tell you the truth that Lois Tomlinson is female, because the whole system is designed on lies. If you have to be successful, you have to contribute. You have to keep on telling lies and providing lies to the public. That's why people say that people who are high up in the hierarchy of the world, entertainment, business, or whatsoever, are Freemasons, because they keep secrets. All right? You're looking at two females. All right? Another picture. And this is a picture of what I was trying to show you. Now, this is Liam Payne. Right? He's also a member of One Direction. Now, what I wanted you to take notice is because they're almost of the same height and same weight, so we can make that comparison. You will see that Liam Payne's skull here is bigger than that of Louis Tomlinson, because Louis Tomlinson is female and Liam Payne over here is male. As I've shown you before, when you're comparing skulls, you have to make sure the skulls are of the same ethnicity, the same height, and you have to take account of the weight of the two people involved. You can see the wider shoulders of Liam Payne over here, his bigger skull because he's male, and Louis Tomlinson has the smaller skull and smaller shoulders, right? That this is female and this is male. All right. So with that, I've come to the end of today's presentation or today's video. I advise that you subscribe, and like I always say, and I'll leave you with these words: don't believe anything you see on TV. Question everything. They tell you 1 + 1 is equal to 2. Question it. All right? Question everything, and look with your eyes and see with your brain, because you can only see with your brain if you put your brain to work and think. Thank you, and bye-bye.